imagine a room full of people from different walks of life, having their own unique stories, perspectives, and backgrounds. Now picture all of them coming together not just to work, but to innovate, solve problems, and build something bigger than themselves. The secret behind their success isn't just hard work or talent, but diversity and inclusion.
So hello everyone, I'm Nandhana and this is Hiya, and today we're going to be talking about exactly that. So Hiya, how do you think companies approach and embrace the concept of diversity and inclusion, and how do you think they incorporate that into their everyday culture?
So, embracing diversity isn't just an ethically sound principle, but a strategic business decision. A 2018 study by McKinsey revealed that companies that are in the top quartile for cultural and ethnic diversity are 33% more likely to outperform their competitors. Leading technology companies have increased the number of women and minorities in their leadership roles. They also ensure a fair recruitment process by using and leveraging AI tools. They've also partnered up with external organizations such as historically black colleges and universities in order to attract diverse talent. So, employee support groups for women, veterans, and individuals with disabilities not only fosters community support and inclusion, but also plays a key role in framing company policies.
Right.
So, Nandana, can you tell us more about how we've embraced this mindset through class projects and experiences? What has your experience in class been like?
Right. So if I were to talk about class, firstly, I would say when we approach the concept of diversity, it is about representation of a large group of people. So if you take our class, for example, we have students from all over the country. So that brings about a wide and a broad set of perspectives. And on the topic of inclusion, it is all about making people feel that they can equally contribute to what's going on. So even in class, you and I, we feel that we can put forth our opinions knowing that they will be valued, respected and introspected upon, right? And even the professors, they make sure that each student has equal opportunity to contribute to the class discussion. So it happens to be a very interactive environment. Right, so when we're on the topic of how we approach the concept, we do a lot of these case studies in class, right? For example, from Harvard University. Recently, we did one on the restaurant called Mirchi and Mime. And I think it's very important when we sit and sort of understand how entrepreneurship goes hand in hand with management. The challenges and the tasks that an entrepreneur faces, it's very similar to what managers should be looking at. For example, starting from getting the investors on board, making sure your team is as passionate as you are in the idea and equally invested. And one of the USPs happened to be where their employees were hearing and speech impaired staff. So when you bring forth an innovative idea like that, there are going to be a lot of challenges that you're going to face. So how the company effectively deals with that, how they efficiently set goals to achieve that in the most effective way possible, firstly. Second, we do a lot of these team projects. So when you sit and you work with a team, you're open to multiple opinions, a diverse group of people coming with different opinions. So we debate on them, we pick out what we think would be great. And from these discussions, from the case studies we do, we have on-spot presentations, or we do skits, and mostly that's really fun, and it really focuses on your interpersonal skills. And when you have on-spot presentations, I think it's very important when you do things like that facilitate your spontaneous thinking. And thirdly, I think something that very favorite experience of mine is when we did those implicit bias tests. So I think that really brought about the stereotypes and the things that we don't really show outside, but it really opened up a window into yourself, right? So you self-introspect and you understand, oh, this is what I really think. And that might not show outside, but these biases, they're all within us. So I think it's a great environment in class when you get to listen to other people's opinions. You get to share your opinions, and you also get an insight onto into yourself, where do I come from, what do I think. So I think it's a great experience overall. Yeah. On that topic, it's very important that we understand our personal biases, and even for companies, what we see companies doing. So maybe you can elaborate on how companies foster inclusivity and diversity.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in order to ensure inclusivity, companies focus on providing an accessible workspace by providing assistive technologies, flexible work arrangement, and adaptive office layouts which help accommodate physical accessibility needs. All of this allows employees to fully contribute without having to face any unnecessary barriers. A strong leadership commitment to foster inclusivity from senior management and executives also plays a key role in embedding these values into the organization's culture. For example, several organizations have chief diversity officers. They oversee diversity and inclusion within the organization, at the same time ensuring that goals are met and accountability is maintained. So, Nandana, how do we embrace this mindset in our class through experiences and projects?
You know, personally, I think when we're talking about perspectives, I there was a stark difference in my perspective as well. So what I thought something used to be and then what it actually turned out to be. That whole expansive, holistic view of going into a concept. And I think that comes from listening to multiple people and their opinions and sort of thinking on them and to understand where they come from and where I come from, right? So that's first. Secondly, when we're talking about projects, so it's very practical. So we had a project where we had to pick a company, go through their annual report, and sort of understand and pick out where we think they may face problems. So this was on an activity of organization structures that we were doing. So beyond just theory of what organization structures look like, we're asked to think about the practical aspects of it, to choose a real life company, to see them doing well. What are the problems do I think that they face? So you note down the problems and you give them a solution. So you suggest a solution through the organization structure that you think will address these problems. So I think just beyond theoretical, you just go practically into the real life examples around you and understand, which I think is a great way. And beyond that, professors, they also say the relevance for us as law students to talk about all this beyond just law subjects. We're understanding how businesses work in real life, how managers deal with people. So I think it's very important, and I think that if I had to use one word to describe my experience at Witzlaw, it would be thought-provoking. So on that topic here, beyond internal inclusivity, how do you think companies are fostering diversity and inclusion in the products and services that they're offering?
So basically, companies extend their commitment to inclusion through their products and marketing strategies. For example, products such as cosmetics cater to a wide range of skin tones. Adaptive clothing for individuals with disabilities is also a way to promote inclusion externally. Uh, companies' marketing strategies reflect diverse communities which they aim to serve, and they also promote representation and accessibility in their outreach.
Right. So when we say companies incorporating diversity and inclusion into their everyday culture, we first understand the value of diversity and how important it is to have inclusion as a practice, and the long-term benefits that come along with it, right? So the company just does better in general. And as the popular catchphrase goes, diversity without inclusion is exclusion.